Information gang in the building. Welcome to the Word Mob. It's your man, 50 Grand Kevin Barnes, mouthpiece of the movement, the militant with a microphone, aka the Negro Whisperer. Right? It's Outlaw Radio, Players and Pawns, Hump Day edition. Welcome to the show. Awfully happy to be here. Hope you're happy to be listening. Shout out to, as they say, I didn't ever know I had no haters. Or I'm not one of those people who say I got haters or whatever, but I've been getting a couple trolls lately, so I must be doing something right. Not alone. Got my people with me. Like I said, man, information gang. What's good, ladies? First, Miss the Juice Lady. What's going on?
Hey y'all, it's a juice connoisseur, not a talker but a doer, the owner of Alkies, the wellness site at www.alkieswellness.com, and the podcast host of Conversations with Francois. That is me. How y'all doing tonight?
Mr. Carter was shaking with you, man.
Peace. Life is what's shaking, man, as always. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the coach, teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm your holistic health and wellness coach, y'all. Y'all better come on in. I'm also the one that brings you Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements and Vitality. You can find it on Facebook, Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements, or you go to naturenature.com, or you can go to my Facebook page, my health page, Healthy Self, Heal Thyself. Ask about Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements. Somebody going to point you in the right direction, or I'm going to find you there. Or you go to my page, Kamar Carter, inbox me, and I'll tell you how to get your Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements and Vitality all over again. Just holler at the kids, y'all, or fuck it, just call me, 414-949-2122.
Yeah.
You said a whole lot of shit to eventually get to just call me. Like, yeah. I'm thinking like you could have just gave your number off top and be like, call me. It's Kamar, right? Nah, welcome to the show, man. It's Outlaw Radio. What we doing here is we push anything that's positive or progressive in the community. And then sometimes we talk about stuff that's an issue in the community, but we always try to find solutions. If you know something more than we know, or if you just have an opinion based on, what you know, hit us up, 262-202-5131. That's the number. It's running across the bottom of the screen. But if you illiterate, that's the phone number and that's the Cash App behind it. I mean, remedial people watch the internet too. So you never know who's listening. So shout out to y'all. But we're here Mondays and Wednesdays for Outlaw Radio. Tuesdays, I do the Big Black Sports Show. Tomorrow night, I will do Outlaw Nation, where it's just a little bit sideways because I'm going into the weekend and I'm just talking about all the shit that really a lot of it don't have bearing because some of it's about entertainment and stuff like that, but some of it's powerful because it's about culture and, our mentality. So all outlaws are always welcome. You have an open invitation to Outlaw Nation. So if any one of y'all ever want to drop in, you ain't doing shit on a Thursday. Kamar, you was there. We had a great time. We had a great show. We had a good one.
Where y'all at?
So, yeah. It was, what you mean? It was
exactly. Y'all was just on here on the live.
Wow. That sound like wow.
I thought y'all was in the location.
She thought we was at a club. We was at Mr.
I know
J.
you wasn't nowhere, Kev. You don't be getting out in the world. I know.
We was at the grand reopening of Mr. J's.
Said we live on scene.
On our way to catfish. Shout out to Mike Kimmett. He said my man's Kamar just did an infomercial. My ninja. Shout out to Big Mike, man.
Yeah. Man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something though, man. I learned that from Kevin. Yes, when I started coming on Outlaw Radio, that's where I picked that up at. You know what I mean? Like remember that show we had? I was just so amazed, man, how y'all fucked me up on y'all intro. I sat there on that show, Courtney. You seen me working on my intro right away. I was
It was crazy because he was like, oh no, next week when I come back, I'm gonna have my shit too. Black woman lover.
Hey, I said, the rapper I had to make that rapper spirit rise back up out of me. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah, man, you get this microphone in front of you, got to talk some shit, man. A little bit sometimes. I mean, deliver a message and, disseminate some information.
Yeah.
But, have a good time with it, man. Have a good time with whatever you're doing. Look, the baby was found, apparently, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. The baby was found. They had an Amber Alert out for a 3-month-old baby. So this baby was found. Okay, so let's, I'm happy about that. That's good news. if y'all got any news on this baby, is the baby okay? Or the crazy part is the whole story that's given is that there's a mom who had several people living with her, and she
Mhm.
fell asleep and woke up, and the people were gone, and so was the baby. I don't want to jump to conclusions, right? And I feel like we already get stereotyped enough in the media, but this sounds like some crackhead shit. Like I'm sorry, maybe I shouldn't say that, but it
It
sounds like some.
do. It
It do
do. But,
like you
but
woke
the
up with
thing
the
is, it
baby
was a
gone. Said, wait a
15-year-old
minute.
girl. It was a 15-year-old girl who was a suspect.
Okay,
You know
Right.
what I mean? Like at first, when I first seen the Amber Alert, I was thinking like maybe it was a 15-year-old girl that wasn't supposed to have custody of her own child. And
That's
she
what I
just got
thought, Kamar.
pissed and was like, look, this is my baby. I'm gone. I'm out of
Right.
here. You know what I mean? I thought it was something like that, but then now it just saying, I don't know what the heck is going on.
hopefully it is something like that, Kamar. Hopefully it's what you just said, because rather than the latter, because like I said, and people say, damn, Kev, it might, because we got mental health issues and all kinds of stuff going on. But I'm saying a 3-month-old baby, you got some people over and you pass out and you wake up and they gone and the baby gone. That sounds like some crackhead shit.
But
So
all them different shows,
it
them
ain't.
women was stealing babies and cutting chicks open. And people be
Yeah,
wanting babies. It's real wild out here, man.
yeah.
They'll take
I
the
mean,
baby.
I'm just saying, I want to let's get some facts. If you're out there and you know more about this than me, obviously there are people who know more than me, because there's so many damn hood reporters that be at the scene of whatever's going on. Like I'm telling you, I don't even watch the news no more. I just get on Facebook, like, oh, it's a fire over there and shit. Oh, it's a car accident.
Right.
So yeah, man. The baby's found. That's the good news. Now let's just, whatever details come out, they come out. I ain't know. I don't want to be insensitive to people, but shit, I have to say what I'm thinking in my head sometimes.
Damn.
In my head, when you said the baby was found, I was waiting on you to say like guilty or some shit. I thought you were talking about the rapper. So when you was like the baby was found, I was sitting there waiting.
The baby found guilty.
I was
Oh
like, he was
my God.
found, and then I'm like, found for what? But you was talking about. Yeah.
No, I wasn't talking about the baby. I wasn't talking about him. I was talking about the little
My
3-month-old
bad.
baby here that they had an Amber Alert on. It's all good. It's Outlaw Radio, man. It's Wednesday night, man. You got to get it out your system. Now you came out with some video early this morning with a video, and you were talking about something, and it made me think, because you were talking about conversating, which is really not a word. It should be conversing.
Yes.
You were talking about that, but you were talking about higher levels or higher vibrations. Elaborate on that a little bit, and y'all go check out this video Courtney put up.
So I was speaking on having high level conversations and raising your vibrations, because that's what a high level conversation will do for you. But a lot of times we can sit around and talk to people and just talk about bullshit all day. Talk about Kim and Kanye and what's on Facebook and what's on TikTok. You seen that dude dance? Hey, come look at this video. Just talking about a whole bunch of nothing ass shit. Whereas you should have some people around you where you having some high level conversations. You're learning, you're growing. Just like the last episode, we got to talk about meditation and different types of meditation. That was high level. We all learned
That's
something.
it.
Everybody was talking about different shit, teaching each other. So the people you talk to, you should be gaining some type of value from knowing them, something from those conversations. You should learn something every now and again. You should be growing
Right.
from the people that you know, and they
Right.
should be growing from you. Everybody.
These the people that should be around you, the people that speak life into you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Amen. Amen.
Yes.
In the church. Amen. Amen. Pass the plate. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
No, I mean, it's real talk, because I don't know. I thought maybe I was the only one who noticed during that last show how the energy was flowing, because it was funny and fun and light and crazy. And then it was boom, a conversation about meditation or a conversation about self-healing and stuff like. So it flowed in and out, man. I
Hey,
feel
you
like
know what, Kev? Hey, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna get a lot more conversations like that with the three of us on here, because that's the type of shit we talk about when we get around each other. That's how we kick it. You know what I mean? And that's what she talked. That's what Courtney was just talking about. Just that right there, what you witnessed.
Yeah, man.
Actually was a part of it.
And we gotta give Courtney her props, because Courtney, you support the people. You if it's black business, you go, you shop, you shop with Kamar, you shop with Control C. Shout out to Control C. Shout
outs.
I shout out to Big Relly, who's on the show. I saw you go holler at him and grab his book. So
I got my classic shirt on. Hold on, bam. Oh, that's right. We do. Look.
That's what it's about.
Maybe go
That's
grab my elderberry from out the
In
refrigerator.
this motherfucker. But hey, Kevin, look, and then this is something else. Remember, I told you, I was like it's a community in the community that's actually supporting each other, that's actually working with each other and all this shit, pushing each other, and this is it, man.
Yeah, man. It's cool. It's a cool vibe.
Yeah.
But you know, every now and then I'm a cheerleader for foolishness, man. I'm a sensible savage. So then every now and then I'll digress the conversation to some bullshit. We go back down to the lower vibrations. It's like a choral performance, right? You get the bass and the tenor, and then sometimes you get the soprano. That's what Outlaw Radio is about. So okay, so why did I call the show Players and Pawns? Something I was thinking about, and I know, I'm from that era. When we say player, we say it, he's a player,
Players.
Right. I ain't talking about a dude with a fur on, with some finger waves, and with a taco meat showing with a gold chain. I'm not talking in that sense. I'm saying metaphorically in the sense of life. The chessboard, if you will. Which part do you play? Are you a pawn or are you a player? Like we talk about what is a player, but first of all, what's a pawn? It's technically the smallest piece with the least value, right? And it's basically disposable, right? It really doesn't matter. Like you get another one. So and you sacrifice the pawns up off top. So what I was looking at is my own life saying, am I a pawn or am I a player? When I say player, I mean somebody who's actually actively playing the game, not dope or nothing like that or pimping, but I'm saying, are you moving? Are you making money? Are you spiritually balanced? Are you, as far as your education, are you where you need to be? Your family responsibilities, your soul, are you a player? Because if you ain't, on top of all that shit, you ain't really no player. You a pawn because you end up being used by somebody else because you need something, i.e. a bullshit ass job, right? with no benefits. You become in essence what we call here in Milwaukee the working poor. Okay, I guess that's the way I sum it.
Hey, my definition of player now at this point in my life, I would say would be a factor. Another word for player would be a factor.
I like that too. I like that one.
What I'm saying? That's what I like to tip. When I say player, I'm a player. I'm a factor out here.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like saying, hey, I matter over here.
Busting moves, yeah. I'm busting moves out here. I'm doing shit to make the community better. I'm talking to people. I'm uplifting people. I'm a factor out here.
Right.
I'm a player.
I think people need to understand too, this is not based on material items.
Right.
It's cool if you generated some wealth for yourself, you should treat yourself with some things. Like I'm not a materialistic dude, but I feel like if you get a little bread and you've taken care of your business, and you've maybe for some people, if you have something saved, maybe you don't, you just made some extra money. Treat yourself, do something nice for yourself because you did whatever it took to get that. So, ain't nothing wrong with that, but I don't think being a player is based on that. I think that's kind of like one of the side things that you get from being a player. You end up with a nice crib, a nice car. When I say being or Kamar saying being a factor, it means I'm doing the right thing too.
Right.
I'm not out here shooting and looting. It ain't blood money. I ain't selling poison to the community. I'm not doing nothing predatory.
Like I say, doing good for the community,
I'm still out here macking a little bit. So, I'm not other version of a player. So, we all got the definitions, I think I want to say a little bit of all three.
I'm still out here. I am not macking. I have not macked in a long time.
Right. I know.
Right. No, but I mean, I think it's important because I feel like if you're going to set a goal, you have to have a starting point. And in order to say, well, I'm gonna do this. Well, what's your starting point? What you have to take stock of where you at in order to set the goal, right? So you have to say, okay, right now, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm moving. Oh, and you take stock. So some people would establish what you call a vision board. That's not something I've ever been into because for me, it's all, I mean, I got a big ass head for a reason. So I got a lot of extra room to keep shit up here. It's like a warehouse on my shoulders.
Vision boards, vision boards are cool too. What I'm saying? Vision boards are cool too. It's kind of like a way to track what you're doing, or you know what I mean, to achieve your goals. A lot of the time, when you talk about manifestation, you want to see this stuff. You want to see it. You know what I mean? So if you got this vision board of these different things that you out here working for, working towards, you seeing the motivation and you seeing it, you putting this image in your head and eventually you make this shit manifest itself out in your life.
Yeah.
So vision boards are also helpful. You know what I mean? I do say different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? Some people it may not work for, but some people it may. A lot of people it may.
Yeah, I mean, I think your progression, your evolution is crazy because how many things do you engage in now that at one point you thought maybe was corny? Because if you just said something to me about a vision board or what kind of energy flows and vibrations, you said this shit to me 5-6 years ago. I'm like, if you don't get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit, like,
Yeah.
go buy some crystals, man, and drink some dandelion wine or something. I'm, just being very rude.
Some dandelion wine. Dang.
But you know, like you talk about how powerful the mind is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You talk about how powerful the mind is. Before you could do anything, you got to think of it first.
Right.
So if you got this board giving you visuals, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it can only help. I know people who take Post-its. Well, I used to do it at my old house. I ain't did it here, but I used to take Post-its on the mirror, different affirmations that I look at every morning. I'm great.
Okay.
I'm the shit. You know what I'm saying? Can't nothing fuck with my peace. I mean, you know, different affirmations I say to myself, man, and that stuff really helps. Like I say, you say it, you speak it, you think it, you see it, bring this shit to life.
Yeah, man. At our age, once you get to this kind of status where we're at, I think mental elevation is so necessary. And I keep hearing people say you go to therapy and go get this and go get help. And I'm saying, but there's a lot of self-care that you can engage in so you won't have to go that far.
Exactly.
Like, so when you start talking about thinking on a higher level, or if you start looking at vibration.
That's what self-care is all about.
Yeah.
That's what self-care is all about. Self-healing.
Man.
That's what self-care is all about.
I grew up with a bunch of dudes who I got a lot of love for. All the cats that I used to run with, no matter where we was at, my wild western days, whatever, got love and respect to, for, and from all those brothers, right? And I used to kick it tough with them. But then we started talking about energy and vibrations. My shit changed. So it just don't match up no more. Like, so it ain't even them. It's more about the environment. So just going back, just doing those things, I don't have no real interest in it now. And I still got love for them. You know what I mean? At the same time, it's like anything you need me, brother, but I have to
hey, once you know better, you do better.
Okay. All my guys mad at me. Oh, fuck you.
No, it ain't that. You know what I mean? You still love the homies. You still love the homies. Ain't nothing changed. It's just different stuff that I can't bring myself to do no more.
Yeah. And especially for those of us who are parents, because I became like a lot of stuff my homies doing like in the last 4 or 5. I just got married, man. Years. Like I've been married 20 years. So I did that shit a long time ago. So I had to switch up energy a long time ago. But yeah, man, player or pawn, which one are you? I'm looking at this upcoming mayoral election, which at this point is an absolute mess. And not just because of, it's a bunch of people running, and there's 2 people running, and they're both horrible options in my opinion, because I'm interested in who wants to see black people in this city prosper. Like that is what I'm concerned about. It ain't like you can give me all these blanket statements and broad kind of ideologies about, well, this is how we 3-pronged attack to attack reckless driving and all this. None of that specific enough. So that I would even think or believe that it's something that could help people of color in this city. So I'm looking at Bob Donovan and I'm looking at Chevy Cavalier. Which one is it?
You know his name.
Cavalier. You know what I mean?
Just call him Chevy Cavalier then. Fuck it.
Okay.
Chevy Cavalier Johnson.
Right. Because every time I say one, somebody say the other one. So if I say the Cavalier, they say his name's Chevy. I'd be like, all right, well, his name's Chevy. So what?
Look, Chevy Aloysius
Cavalier.
That's
the funny part, man. That's the funny part. That's
right. It's these 2 dudes running
it's
against
all a joke.
And I'm listening to both of them talk, and neither one of them have jumped off the page at me with something that they, have planned to do in the city of Milwaukee or for the people in the city. And I just keep hearing a lot of people who don't even live in the city having opinions about it. That's the thing, like we in Milwaukee, that kind of things become prominent where a lot of people who ain't from what you out here telling about who to vote for. You don't even live in the city. It's this Milwaukee folk business. If you ain't dealing with the policies and procedures that this city has in it directly on a day-to-day basis, and you can't vote anyways in the election. So who cares what you think? But I just feel like it's useless. And I think most black people in Milwaukee feel a sense of useless, like effort is useless. We feel like it's a little, I don't want to say hopelessness. I don't want to say that because it's never, I'm a glass half full type of cat. But there's an overwhelming feeling of just like this whole election is useless. My vote is useless. Like
Hey,
we're fucked either way we go. Like either way we vote, we fucked.
hey,
Yeah.
and how about this part? How about this part? From these two candidates, they both been around for years, right?
Uh-huh.
What can they say at this point to make us believe them? Because they've been saying this shit forever, and they ain't did it yet. Now we got two people who've been lying to us for years, lying at the same time. Ain't nothing. I don't think it's nothing neither one of them could say that can sway me their way. I mean, like I said, action, man. You know what I mean? Remember a while back, Orlando Owens asked me what I think about Black Republicans. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, I don't think nothing. I look at the actions. I want to see actions. I judge you from that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, these two, we ain't got shit to really believe them. But you know what I mean? Ain't nothing about these two people to make us believe what they tell us.
Yeah.
Well, is this about partisan politics? Is the upcoming mayoral election
No, it's not.
in
Hey,
Milwaukee
it's not.
really?
Hey, look, and that's why I keep saying these two people. You dig what I'm saying? Ain't nothing these two people can tell me to sway me either way because they both been lying for years.
Well, when I say is it
Yeah.
about part,
It
because
ain't
okay,
about a party
well, because and I said that because
for us.
the Democrats and the Republicans in the city of Milwaukee have unilaterally failed. Like they both have, neither one of them have done shit, right? Our community is like in some dire straits in some cases, and neither one of these parties have a good track record here. And I don't believe either one of them say, if you go with us, our policy is this. Or like I've spoken with Orlando, who is a friend of the show and a cool brother if you get to know him. If you
Right.
can get past the whole black conservative, and Orlando drinks Republican Kool-Aid like by the gallon, so he will spend some shit.
Hey, what do that mean, man? What do
It means you when you start talking about him, I'm talking with him about politics. He'll say it's like, okay, when I made the joke, and it's just an example. So I made a joke with him. We were having this kind of spirited discussion about the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, and I said to him, I said, with his mother should have been charged too. Poor white trash. She looked like Louis Allen, and with her ugly ass, right? And he said, "Oh, there's some ugly black women too."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I remember.
What the
Hey,
what are you talking?
Me and Orlando we had a long talk the next day. I talked to him the next day. We had a long talk behind that one, man.
And so I said that to say there's been several instances in which he and I have had where we're having a conversation about, and it just kind of went into politics. And he said some just real, like, that's what I'm saying, that Kool-Aid, because if you drink enough of it, it had you a little woozy, right? Like a little wobbly, right? You say any damn thing, and you always want to kind of toe that line. That's why, there's such a like issue with black conservatives, not because because I always look at you, if you're a black man, you're a black man for me, and that's how I look at Chevy Cavalier. That's what you told me call him, right? Chevy Cavalier. That's how I look at him. Here's a brother. Now the problem is brother, you haven't really said anything like Kamar said, you haven't said anything unique or creative or forward thinking enough to like really win me over. I mean, all you really got going for me is that you black. Because like I said, anything I'm watching, any game, any sport, I want the black dude to win. Right? Like no. But when I hear you just basically sound like you are a puppet for Barrett, like it sounds like all your policies came out of like some sort of playbook that he's drawn up. I don't hear anything. And what he was doing wasn't working. So it's not like you can say, well, why change it? Well, because it wasn't working. Right. And I don't hear you with anything unique. So, it's one of those situations, man, where you feel a little useless. Let's see what we got. See we got a caller. Caller, you live on Outlaw Radio. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Mr. Barnes.
What's going on?
All right, yeah, see you on the air, man. How's life treating you today?
Oh man, it's good. It's good. It's good. What's going on with you?
Okay, no, I'm just back out here in California, man, you know, and of course you heard about the high ass cost of gas out here, man. You know what I'm saying? And they're paying $6 a gallon for it. And earlier today, I did a little video, man, you know what I'm saying? And, saying to the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is that he needs to sign an executive order, man, where they cannot charge no more than $3 per gallon of gas.
Okay. How much is it?
It's $6. And keep in mind is that it cost me $50 to drive from Sacramento, California to Panthertown, and that's only 82 miles.
Okay.
$50. You see what I'm saying? And then Biden, you know what I'm saying? I think he's senile. I think the cat needs to be impeached, resigned, or what have you. But then again, look at the mess that you got following behind him, you know, the former senator from California, you know what I mean? And once again, you know, we just want to emphasize, man, of controlling our own industries, man, you know, rather if it's professional sports, is because, you know about the Super Bowl and things of that nature right there. Also, too, in the entertainment industry, you know, if these individuals could get together, you know, put some startup capital, man, you know what I'm saying, of 7 figures or better and stuff, but developing some own infrastructural projects for ourselves, of education, of commerce, of trade schools. Because I remember when I was in high school, man, you used to have wood shop, metal shop, electrical shops, you know what I'm saying? So you would have some preliminary apprentice skills to go out here and make a living. And these days, man, you know, our people can't even do that, you know? The homeless situation, man, in Los Angeles has grown exponentially since the last time I was there. They used to have one row of tents going down the street. Then, of course, you know, the pandemic, scamdemic, plandemic, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? It's designed, you know, to exterminate us, you see. So on our platform at Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, and also definitely check out Frontline Black News. You know, we definitely appreciate you, Mr. Barnes, of, you know, coming in from time to time when you can. And it's time for us to do for ourselves. And we're just going to have to leave these other groups, man, to themselves.
That's what's up, man. And you know what? I haven't been able to come on in a second because and we added some programming here on the People's Network, but I'm definitely gonna make sure I get back on because I always have a good time when I'm on there. So if y'all watch the People's Network, People's News Network, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, and Paris LaShawn is in the chat room right now from Frontline Black News up in Denver. So yeah.
Yes, sir.
Our West Coast connect, right?
Oh, indeed, man. Indeed. And then also, too, man, I want to put it out there on your platform, if I may. There's a internet personality, man, by the name of Jeff Favre out of Denver, Colorado, okay? And what he did, man, is that he blocked me, you know, for making comments up on his platform or what have you, which is great, which is beautiful, is because he's talking about, you know, these black politicians. And then, of course, you know, he had one of those, how should I say, one of the descendants of our oppressors, you know, coming up there talking about the Ukraine situation. And we as black people need to not even concern ourselves with that. It's because look what they're doing to our people there from our continent. They don't even want them, you know, to leave the place. And then, of course, you know, they treat them like garbage, man, when they get there. So white supremacy, man, is universal, you know, amongst them, in my opinion. In addition to, with Biden, and we say on our platform all the time that we are still waiting for you Biden supporters to give us a call at area code 516-418-5996. No, 4996. And we're still to hear from them. You know what I'm saying? But we understand why we don't hear from them, because we understand that they feel humiliated, that as they should. Shabaka. They feel for the banana. Yes, sir.
What time is your show on?
Okay, we come on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. 6 p.m. Pacific time, and in your neck of the woods, which would be the Central Time Zone, it will be at 8. And then for the East Coast, it will be 9 p.m. And then we got our East Coast correspondent, the one and only brother Isaiah Bowers. You know, he's been with us from day zero. Brother Jesse, you know, he is our producer. You know, he's been doing a very, very great job, holding up the show. Also, too, we have Lady Che, or Seduction Doll, you know, who hosts the Revolutionary Agenda. We have StreamYard every Saturday night for Frontline Black News. And then quite naturally, of course, if you ain't been banned, man, you know, because they banned you a few times, they banned me a few times, they banned Frontline Black News a few times. And it only means, Mr. Barnes, as you know, that we are speaking the truth. You see?
That's what's up. I got y'all number up. I got y'all number up right now. Paris LaShawn is sharing it.
Yes, sir.
And it says Tuesday, 7 p.m. That's Mountain Time, so
Yes,
it's about 9 here. So I want y'all.
Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
share the show out, man, because I want people to check y'all out. I want people to check your
yes,
platform out. Let it be some
Oh,
good
yes, sir.
conversation.
Oh, absolutely. And then also, too, they can follow us on Twitter at Shabaka Capital EXP, is because, you know, we put our archived episodes up there as well, too. And we ask the general public, hey, please leave us a comment. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely appreciate all our callers over the years, all our supporters. We appreciate our haters, too, you know, like Pianki and what have you. And I don't know if you're familiar with Pianki. And Pianki is like Jeff Fard, you know, one of these brain dead coons, you know, who figure that for us to get ahead is
Wait, is that a blog talk dude? That's
okay,
a blog talk dude,
Pianki.
right?
Yeah, Pianki, he comes on a few blog talk programs, and I've appeared on a few blog talk programs, and I've been called every NGR, every black so-and-so,
I know that dude.
the other.
I was on Blog Talk back in the days. He's just a troll. I'm gonna jump down with y'all, man. I'm gonna jump down with y'all one of these good nights.
Yes, sir. And please do, Mr. Barnes. And I'm going to check out the rest of your show, man, and leave a few comments. And definitely appreciate Mr. Kamar adding me as a friend. You know what I'm saying? That brother there is putting up some great information and what have you, man. And look forward to working with y'all.
All right, my brother. That's what's
Peace,
up.
family.
Hey, how you be? How you be, Mr. Kamar?
All right, man. All right. I seen your friend request. I couldn't accept it quick enough.
Hey, okay. You say what now?
I said I seen your friend request. I couldn't accept it quick enough.
Oh, yes, sir. And thank you, brother. Yes, sir. Yeah. And it's all about building, man. It's all about networking amongst ourselves and about us building up our own economical infrastructure. It's because the day of the ass scratcher, the day of the Yasa boss, the coon is over. It's for us to stand up like strong black men and women and get the black family unit back together.
That's right. Hey, don't forget about the health, man. We in it for the longevity.
Oh, indeed, man. Hey, this is a marathon, my good brother, and not a sprint. The whole brother Paris. Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, man. So I'm gonna check you all out, man, and share the post. You know, by all means.
All right, my brother. All right, man.
Okay, Mr. Bond. Okay.
Peace.
Always. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hit us up, man. If you want to be a part of the show, you have something you want to say, something you want to get off your chest, you got a platform that's positive that you want to share. Shout out to Shabaka, man. Shabaka is out on the West Coast. He travels around the country. And as you can tell, he has a lot to say. He has in terms of the state of our people and what's going on with us, right? Like so. And Paris LaShawn, too. I watch Frontline Black News on YouTube. We were it's Outlaw Radio, it's Players and Pawns. We were asking people to start the show, like if you take stock of everything, every situation considered in your life right now, are you a player or are you a pawn? And I'm not saying if that's what your position is that, you know, that it's over and that you can't rise above that. I'm saying, where are you at right now? Because I would hope if you don't have everything you want or you're not where you want to be, you are searching for ways to get better or to do better. I would hope you're not at a standstill or you're not what we would call stagnant, right? Like, so as an informed Milwaukeean and a lifelong Northsider, I look at this election and I'm like, wow, this is like the drink that has no taste, right? The meal that has no seasoning in it, right? Like, it's like, but you got to eat though, right? Like you thirsty, so you got to drink it. So you don't have a choice. And, you know, I think that the thing about Bob Donovan is I've never in my life been fully confident in some, you know, white conservative Republican dude having my best interests at heart. You know what I mean? The thing about Chevy is the whole democratic process, the whole play along, go along to get along shit that's been in effect in Milwaukee for a very long time has not worked, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to look around Milwaukee and say, damn, this shit fucked up. Like, I mean, you wake up in the morning, it's Amber Alert for a 3-month-old baby, right? Like, I don't, it's that, but that's just Tuesday type shit. Like, it's like, it's around the clock here. So we need some serious answers for some serious problems and issues and concerns. And so I don't feel like either candidate has really supplied us with, I don't think either one of them has said enough or done enough where you say, ooh, that's a dude that I wouldn't mind if he was in office. It's like, okay, it's almost the same as the Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton election, in which I got stuck on stupid. Like, I remember going to the poll, like, damn, I think I ended up writing like Prince or something, because I couldn't vote for either one of them. I couldn't vote for either one of them. So,
Well, I think I'd rather vote for Chevy than a Predator.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'd rather vote for Chevy than a Predator, a peeping eye dude. You know what I mean? Because, see, he only going to push this whole bullshit agenda even farther.
Right. Okay. And some people would talk about Bob Donovan's effectiveness on the South Side. And I was a witness to some of that when I was doing some community organizing. I'm not saying that he didn't have the South Side moving a little bit, but once again, it wasn't my people. We get caught up worrying about somebody else shit. You worry about the wrong shit. I'm worried about my people. What you gonna do and what can you do? It ain't what you gonna do, it's what can you do? What do you have the power to do? Because I think when we look at these candidates, one thing we need to ask them is, are you a player or are you a pawn? We assume they're players.
I be thinking they pawns.
It's a pecking order here. So
Cavalier ass is definitely a pawn.
Oh yeah, his track record shows he's a pawn.
Yeah, so that nigga ain't no player. I yell at one of these conferences.
Even if we do get him in office, we probably gonna have to vote him right out.
Please tell me you didn't do that.
No, I will though. That's the thing. I will.
even if Chevy do get in office, we probably gonna have to vote him right up out of there because his track record shows he's just a pawn. He really don't mean the best for our community
at all. No,
that's what his track record shows.
Is his wife black?
Yeah, he lives
in. You sure about that, Kevin?
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
She don't look black. She look like old girl that married that prince.
See, I was gonna say, fuck around, be Italian or something. You know what I'm saying? A little bit.
Nah.
A little dark.
Do she claim?
he got with the old players in my hood used to call it yellow hammer. He got the little yellow hammer over there. Hey, and it's all good. It ain't really about who he's married. Even if she was white, but he's from the community. He lives in the community. He's a brother. This is what I'm saying. What is the value on blackness right now? I said something the other night, and Kamar kind of rebutted me because I said something about being on code. Now, I said I want to be on code because as a group of people, like black people in Milwaukee, we should have established, if we had the leadership, we could have established one nation. So we move as a nation. So we are on code. How are we voting? Who is best for us, right? Like, and if we had a candidate that ran in the primary that perhaps could have gotten here, this election would be different, but we didn't have that. So Kamar says there's no code. We don't have no code here. We ain't unified here. We're not on the one nation thing.
That's why we don't know who to vote for.
Then I gotta trick niggas though. You gotta like put something on Facebook. Meeting about reparations. Everybody show up.
It's obvious. It's obvious that it ain't no code because don't nobody know who we voting for. We don't have a single person or who we all know we voting for. So we know it ain't no code.
That's why we meeting.
I said code, not kumbaya, by the way. I'm not endorsing that we all have to love and hug and I don't even get your ass off my grass, but you a brother, so I ain't gonna shoot you over it. I ain't sick my dog on your kids, your grandmama, no shit like that. I'm saying it's okay. We can agree to disagree, man. Like what I mean?
We ain't got a kumbaya, but we got to get on the same page.
Yeah, man. That's what I was saying the other night. Like my two golden rules have always been, mind your business and be respectful. Like to me, if you observe those two rules in life, you're gonna make it. You could be the random victim of something. You don't know how the game plays out. But my whole thing is, at least try. At least try to mind your business and be respectful of other people. So when I say what's the value on blackness, because at one point it did mean something because we were truly all we had because we were excluded from everything else. So when we're talking about, well, you couldn't go here, you couldn't shop here, you couldn't live here, you couldn't swim here, you can't use this water fountain. So all we had at that point was us. So our solidarity was key. And I feel like once we kind of got integrated and they started letting some of us more, those of us who are more the black boule per se, could matriculate into the mainstream community. I felt like that spirit of solidarity kind of went away, right? Like so. I'm looking at it now in this city. I'm saying in a city that's 40% black, there's a black man running who, if voted in, would be the first elected black mayor in the history of this city. So I'm looking at like, why is whether or not who we voting for even in question? But how much does he value his blackness? I wouldn't want his political answer. I wouldn't, because I think anytime you see a black man and he himself and the media at large has tried their best to present him as non-threatening, we got a problem. We got a problem. If you a black man and you worried about like I want to come off too, I want to make sure I'm affable. Affable Negroes have never helped our cause in this country, right? Like so, they say pacifism, being affable, semantics, right? I get it. I'm just saying, like, what is the value? What does it matter to you all that he's black? Does it even play a factor into whether or not you're going to vote for him?
No, not at all. Like, as far as history, it's a wonderful thing. But as far as, nigga, you finna be in there being a white man. No. But, no. Like I said, as far as history is be a wonderful thing. Like, yes, black mayor elected in, but no, you know what the fuck you finna do? You finna go in there and be Tom Barry. We know.
That is the narrative that's being written. Shout out to Juan Mac Jones, who's in the chat room. He says, how do we create or learn the code that we are looking for? Okay, I'm saying code, but what I'm really talking about is some real intentional solidarity. I guess that's where I'm at, number one. Like, and being intentional about it, not just like, I live in an all black neighborhood. Well, that's because you have to. Like, so a lot of people say, I live in the hood because you have to, because if you had enough money, you'd move away. But there should be,
I don't know, man. Like away from the hood, but sometimes even when I told you I be doing Lyft and Uber, when I be around the white folks too long, I turn my shit off and come back to the area. I be like, man, I can just stay out here. Hell no. Right.
It'll do that to you. What was you about to say, Kamar?
Well, I think it's about finding a place to live that's less toxic. You know what I mean? Where you comfortable.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you may not have to move too far, but just how about an area? Right. Where you feel more comfortable. You know what I mean? And then, Kel, we talked about that. Moving, leaving the city. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to leave the community, but you still should be doing something to help the community.
Hey, he said not true, boss. Some of us are staying for different reasons. Oh, I was joking, man. I know some people. I know some people who live in the hood who got money. It was a joke. Why, Mac Jones?
I'm not house. Like I said, my mama turned this into like a 4-story mansion. You can
ain't nothing wrong with it. Hey man, look. How about this? Rappers. Look at rappers, right? Or anybody. You know what I'm saying? You leave the hood, they call you a sellout. You stay in the hood, they kill you.
Right. Yeah.
You got all the money, you in the hood, they coming for you.
Especially here, especially in our city.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, it's okay to move, but you still need to do something that can help the community. You still need, you know what I'm saying? You still need to keep a foot in the community, somewhat.
Especially in this city, because this is a city of wolves. These motherfuckers will eat you alive. I done seen Milwaukee eat motherfuckers alive. I'm trying to tell you. I'm from people who were in the community trying to do something positive, just at their ass on their heels. To the point where I just gotta move. I done seen people open businesses in the hood say, man, I want to do business with my people. And once again, it's not, I guess the unfortunate part is at that point, it was more of the norm. That's what usually happened. That's why the business, the retail property and all that kind of stuff was closed, because You open the store, people breaking in your shit, robbing you. You like, man, I'm going broke just on security. So they had to close down whatever business they had. But so, I mean, you know, and that's a different conversation about whether or not why you choose to live where you live. Because Kamar just stated, and I've said many times, sometimes moving to that suburb, but don't make it sweet either, because they're gonna sweat the shit out of you. Because they don't, especially up here, they don't want your black ass in these suburbs. So they're gonna sweat you. It's like sending your kids off. I'm gonna send you out to goddamn Butler to go to school for. This is the best school system. And your kid get off the bus every morning. The nigger, coon, whatever. He's fighting. And teachers treating him like shit. It's just like, you know, I'm just saying, like, it's what. So you got to look for the answer. Paris LaShawn said the code exists. Check out Neely Fuller Jr. textbook, The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept. Every blood person needs to read that book. Okay, and let me put this up because I read that shit fast and people like, God damn, Kev, you remedial. You're talking about remedial people. It's up on the screen. Well, okay, so Juan Mac Jones asked how to create it here in a place where we had just said it's not. And I said forced solidarity, or intentional, not forced, I'm sorry, intentional solidarity, meaning more of an effort for us to really learn how to deal with each other, more support. We just gave Courtney credit because she supports the shit that we see. She goes to the Sherman Phoenix. She supports Kamar. She shout out to Rail. She's bought his books. I see Courtney at different black events like, hey, I'm here buying, you know, I'm supporting black business. That needs to be our spirit more in our community. I feel like a lot of people in our community look at the Sherman Phoenix and look at what goes on in the community down there as something that they're not a part of. I feel like they look at it and be like, it's almost like a tribal thing. It's like that community down at the Sherman Phoenix. I feel like a lot of people be like, you know, them Sherman, you know, we quick to label some shit. Them Sherman Phoenix niggas, you know, like
I mean, but they are like their own community. If you don't know them, that is what the fuck it look like. You like, damn, everybody here know each other and shit. They all clicked up and shit. That's what it is. Yeah. If you don't know them.
Now, so they are on code. They have their own code. So it makes so you got to, but you can't have, is it cool to have a community in the community? Kamar, you talk about the community.
Yeah. You got to.
I say that, I try to say that I'm a part of a community that's within the community, teaching that community how to be a community again.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's about leading by demonstration. You know what I mean? Leading by doing. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff I'm doing. I mean, it's on a small scale, but I mean, I still think I'm doing it, like partnering up with different people to do different shit. You know what I mean? Where we can help each other. And you know what I'm saying? We teaching by doing.
I guess part of the issue is we just ain't into going somewhere to get fresh vegetables and herbs and stuff, natural things that we're not really into that. Like people in the summertime, what you finna do?
Hey, but you know that's just what I do, and it's just one store in the Sherman Phoenix that do that. It's all type of other shit.
Come on,
I mean, so I ain't just saying, you know what I mean, the community that's into herbs. I'm talking about a way of life.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
The community around us, especially 53206 and close to the Sherman Phoenix, a lot of those people don't give a fuck about none of that type shit.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about it just being for people like that who live that lifestyle. What I'm saying is it's not considered the thing to do in Milwaukee. Like on a hot summer day, you don't see a whole bunch of brothers and sisters at an urban garden buying vegetables. Like you be at the Alice's Garden joint. I'm pretty sure it's packed. I'm pretty sure they have traffic. But I'm saying it's not the hottest ticket going. Now let some Jordans come out. The lines around.
You're right. Hey, I think it's coming though.
Or a little yacht
part of that change. And you know what I mean? Like we was talking about the community that's within the community, teaching the community how to be a community again. They doing that.
Right.
Like I say, it's about teaching by action, by doing. You know what I mean? There's more people starting gardens and you know what I mean, doing different self-sustaining shit. You know what I mean? I actually just went and bought a bunch of tools and shit to do a garden here. I'm finna have a big ass garden.
Gardening is the
but
shit.
You know
what I mean? Like it is. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? It's just different stuff like that we doing in this community that's growing. You know what I mean? Again. It's coming back. So I figure, like I said, Kev, in some 10 years from now, you know what I mean? It's going to be a lot of stuff that look different. You're gonna see more black businesses that's hiring black people. You're gonna see more people having their own gardens and shit again, like we used to see with our grandparents and parents. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see a whole lot of shit coming back because of these community. And this ain't just Milwaukee either.
Right.
Let me make that clear. This ain't just Milwaukee. We ain't just talking about Milwaukee. I'm talking about in the whole black community in the United States. You know what I mean? It's a lifestyle.
Funniest shit I heard. Like I was talking to a brother and I said something about the Sherman Phoenix one time. He said, "Oh, there'd be some hippies." He said it'd be some. I heard it'd be like black hippies and shit. They all hippies. I said, "What? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Nah, that's what I heard." I said, "Man, you got to go down there. Like you can get pizza and ice cream and it's like hair salons and all that." He's like, "Nah, man, I just telling you what I heard. Like I heard it'd be like hippies and shit." I said, "Okay." Yeah. That's what I say. My people. I love my people, man.
Hey,
but you know that's what
label your ass.
Hey, Kev.
Call me a hippie. So
that mean it's on the right track.
Yeah,
that means it's on the right track when this happens, right? Because see, dig this. Remember, I told you I feel like the whole story in the Bible was written so we can understand our walk on earth. You know what I'm saying? So we can understand it better. Well, you look at Jesus' story. When Jesus came back, he got this lifestyle that's different, this whole new way of living, and everybody was looking at him, talking shit, and like, no, you lying, you wrong, that's some bullshit, bullshit, his whole life, right? But it's the same thing you see that's going on with this type of shit. Oh, they hippies down there, and this all is you know what I mean? It's the same shit. I get it.
We will label your ass. Milwaukee
you know
will
what
label
I'm saying?
We don't play no games.
But you know what I mean? That's basically what it is, though.
Listen, once again, man, I think like I said, at the stage we're at, the situation we're in right now, it needs to be more of a thing for us to get more connected with us and like more natural stuff. Like, cause I feel like we just kind of strung out on all the bullshit. Like, cause when we talk about consumerism in this country, we know we are we blow more cheese on consumer products, and we've gotten away from some of the things that naturally benefit us. And we've just become dependent on the things that they supply us. I know what I have that book in my studio. I'm not in my damn studio, but the sister has sent it to me. The sister, our elder, it was about eating, about the stuff we put in our body. So I'm gonna have to bring that back out. That's why I need to be in my studio. Because I had all my books and my literature, and my wife said, "This is chaos. You need to clean this shit up." Like, I know where everything is. So that's how we argue and shit, like old people. But so, okay, on this track, we're talking about, now I sent y'all a video, right? Like and I put it in the People's News Network. I hope everybody's seen this. Juan Mac Jones said, he said, "What you eating on, Kamar? Some vegan ribs." It looked like. Now he didn't say.
They eating some of that dip. You got that dip, Kamar?
We made some vegan nachos over here.
Oh, okay, yeah, shit.
Kamar money back from Meatless Mondays.
Right.
It ain't quite the Meatless Monday demonstration, you know what I'm saying? Actually, it's more of a dip. I just got the chips on the side and I'm scooping this shit up, right? It's it's different vegetables, really. It's quinoa rice, some black beans in there, some peppers, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's like a.
And I see, it's got this Southwest seasoning on it or whatever, so it's kind of like some nachos or whatever.
Okay.
Wow. But so what I was saying was, I sent y'all this video of this little girl. It's a teenage girl in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'll share it again in the People's News Network. When I get time. Basically, there's a situation where I guess the class of kids, a bunch of black kids in the school, clowning, acting a fool, doing what it is that they do, and this white principal, this white administrator, goes crazy, right? Like he says some stuff to the kids, and my wife took a real exception to it because of how he spoke to these kids. I'm gonna actually try to pull this up and play it again for y'all. So give me a second. But I do want to, like, because I've worked in the public schools, I've worked with social services, I've worked with our kids, and there's been situations where the kids just were off the goddamn chain, right? And so, it was at a point where you really got to have that real conversation with them, like, hold on, man, sit your ass down, like, y'all got me fucked up, right? Like, so, but let me know if y'all can hear this, first of all, because I'm going to play this, and y'all tell me what y'all think about this.
Want to try my authority? Because I am fucking done playing with you idiots. I am here because I want to be here. I somewhat enjoy this job. You need something from me. I need nothing from you. You can go through life and live on the fucking system, draw your paycheck on the 1st and the 15th from my taxes, and live just an absolute horrible life. I don't care. You can be another statistic. I don't care. That's on you. And if you think it's funny, I can take you down to the county office and we'll pull the fucking numbers. And if you don't like my language, I don't give a shit. Because you've said worse. And if you, again, Samaya, you leave too. Get out now. Get your shit. Get out.
I'm not.
Get out now. I didn't fucking out.
Okay. So that was him. That was him putting the young lady she has her phone on. She's recording it. He was putting her out of the room. Y'all can hear that, right? Shabaka said he can hear loud and clear. So this is a white administrator in Jacksonville, Florida. And he's saying this to a bunch of, young brothers and sisters. If your child is in that school or in that classroom or whatever, what have you, and he or she comes home with this, what's your reaction?
I'm gonna catch your ass. What you mean? I'm one of them type of parents.
I'm gonna go find that teacher.
I'm gonna see you. What you mean? I'm gonna catch you and I'm going to come see you. What the fuck you thought this was? Who you talking to?
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna come see the teacher. I want to talk to him. Talk to me like that.
And is that how you walk through the door though? Is that you? Oh, motherfucker, it's gotta.
No, I ain't going with a problem. I'm gonna go in there. I would go in there and tell him to explain his actions.
Okay.
Tell me why that made sense.
I'm not going to the school. I'm gonna catch you in the world. So
no, I'm gonna go up there.
You can't just be out here doing drive-bys on principals, Courtney.
Why not?
I'm gonna
talk to him. It ain't like I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna catch him in the world. Hey man. Hey, Principal Shishlovsky, that's you, right?
Right.
Around and pick a save or some shit. Hey, Metro Mark, catch him. Hey, slow down, wait.
What if I look at this from a different perspective? What if I say maybe the kids deserve to hear it like that? Maybe if I said they needed to hear that.
Well, you entitled to that.
Mm-hmm. I'm just asking. I'm completely playing devil's advocate here because I have children and. My reaction, if you really want to know what my personal reaction is, I'll talk about that after I was saying, considering the alternative in that I have seen some crazy things in education, in classrooms, in facilities. I worked residential treatment for adjudicated teenage felons for a while. And I taught special education, self-contained special education and for Milwaukee Public Schools for a while. And I can tell you that I've seen some crazy behavior. Now, has any of it ever really been in my room? Because earlier I said because I've pulled some kids to the side before and had a conversation in which I said, listen, check this out. You got me fucked up. Not in these exact words, but to let them know, grown person right here. I'm not that bullshit you on ain't gonna last. But his hard truth as a white man to them is that basically I don't need you motherfuckers. I'm getting paid here. This is a job.
I think presentation is everything.
Exactly.
Okay. That's why I said I need him to explain himself and why he was talking to my child like that. I don't talk to my child like that.
Okay. No matter what your child, if your child was like throwing books and because we've had situations. I'm sorry, and I've meant to talk about some of this stuff on the show because there's situations like in Florida where the older black man was in the classroom trying to teach. The kids got off the chain, threw chairs at him, hit him, bust his head. We see the situation here that was recorded on video a couple years back where the brother was in the classroom and the kid was throwing spitballs at him and he rushed him and pinned him down and they fired him. Y'all don't remember this? I
remember that.
I forget what school it was. It was like he was like a para or something, and the kid was like antagonizing him, and he snapped. And I did actually myself personally one time have a altercation with a young man who felt like it was his right to threaten me physically and invade my personal space when I was a teacher, and I had to subdue him. I didn't beat him, but I had to show him, that your back can touch the ground quicker than you think, and so I really had to put him down. So I'm saying sometimes our youth in the situations just be so off the chain. I am not encouraging or endorsing what he said, but I think what he said was true.
Yes,
because that's how the
it was true.
feels.
I
right?
agree with Juan. You know, it's that whole thing. You a white man. You know what I'm saying? If it was a black teacher saying it, all right. I still want to know, don't you cussing my kids? You know, it's different. Black folks, yeah, but you know, you white, no,
Yeah,
no, sir.
that do hit different.
That shit changes the whole game.
Okay.
No.
Cause see now I feel like you trying to press your
right.
you
Call
know
my
what I
kid
mean,
idiot and shit.
demonstration on me now
What?
on my child.
You know, they turn something different. Who the fuck you talking to?
Yo,
White
you
man.
trying to press your audacity on my child, right?
Yeah.
You know it's a good ass show when Kamar use a big ass word. You know it's going the fuck down when Kamar come out with the story. Like,
This nigga thinking.
elasticity ain't matching up with your chakra, brother. Like, damn, he said elasticity. Shout out to John Fletcher. He said they need to hear what he was really thinking. He just showed them the real world and how the people out there is going to treat them if they don't get their life together.
But very true.
Thank you. Thank you. I like that right there. I like that.
That's definitely how white folks gonna treat them.
I could see that.
Now, don't the black person in me, the what I was just talking about being on code, that part of me makes me say, as a parent, I'm going to the school, but I'm going more to find out what role my kid played in it. I'm not coming through the door like, yeah, you Mr. Kaharski, bitch ass nigga, check this shit out, homie. You know, I'm gonna go in there and say, look, my name is Kevin Barnes, this is my son. He or she is in your class. Apparently, you had an incident in which you went ham. I want to know what was he or she doing. I want to know what they was doing.
Hey, well, that's basically what I just said. You know what I mean? I want to know what warrants you to talk to my child like this, man. What make you feel like you could do this?
Right. And just in case, maybe if he says, well, Mr. Barnes, I understand he or she's one of my best students and I don't have a problem out of him, but the rest of the class was just completely nuts. I had to get a hold of it. I would say I get your frustration, but what you said was not accurate because this child won't be a statistic unless he or she wants to be. That's not the foundation that we've built. That's not where he or she comes from. You know, this is not a bastard child. This ain't no abandoned ghetto refugee. This is a child that has a family, a mother, a father, all kinds of people with it. So the race factor though drives it though. It sting like y'all said.
Yes.
It sting a little bit more coming from a white man because I'm gonna tell y'all this. I've heard a black person give that same speech to our kids, almost verbatim. Classrooms, courtrooms. I've heard a black person read a black kid the riot act, and y'all all you motherfuckers going to jail. You shit, you dumb. I mean, even if it's like a brother who coming off the street, you motherfuckers, a lot of you niggas hoes anyways. Y'all ain't gonna last. You're gonna end up getting raped, cuz, and all this. You be like,
now here's the difference. Here's the difference. Coming from a black person, they understand better.
It's with love
of the black child. You know what I'm saying? They've been through this shit. So it's like, okay, I've been through this, now I'm warning you. You don't want to hear it, you finna get it raw now.
That white man
different than when you on the other side and now you hollering and checking my kid about this shit, but you don't even know what the fuck they going through.
Yes.
But now, if I jump too quick to try to shield and shelter my kid, am I becoming an enabler? So now my kid's accountability factor goes away because I can tell you who's gonna say some of the worst, most egregious shit to you is gonna be the police and the prison guards. They say what the fuck they want to say to you. You go in the courtroom, they insult you in an intelligent way by putting all kinds of charges on your ass and psychiatric evaluation, these antisocial behavior. You get all, ain't nobody there to stick up for you then. So is it better to learn that truth and to get that harshness early, or to be kind of sheltered and made to believe that, hey, shit, I don't give a fuck what I do. The white man ain't got no right to say nothing to me. That's the argument we're making in essence. Is that
that's the black man's job to handle his kid and do it.
Right. It is.
I would give the same speech.
It ain't that white man job at school. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you could tell them the hard truth, but you ain't finna be hollering at my kid like that.
Wow. Yeah. Deep conversation. Deep. And once again, I've been in the classroom and I've had kids be super disrespectful, act crazy, whatever. And I've had the parent try to come in the room on some aggressive shit. First of all, when you run up on me in person, it's a little bit different. I always tell people that, like, you can say what you want on Facebook, or you run up on me and like, damn, okay, what had happened was a little bit more man than you thought it was. So parents would come in the classroom, you Mr. Barnes? Yes, I am. Oh, well, let me tell. First of all, you ain't gonna be just telling me shit. We're gonna sit down and have a conversation like adults, because at the end of the day, we should both want what's best for this child. That's usually the way I made the conversation go. And I've had some mothers come to the school, and like I said, when I had to subdue that young man, his mother, she came and called me everything except a child of God, threatened me, told me I better not when I come out the building, and I was at North Division. So, I really had to come out with my head on the swivel. I was like Jerome on that old school episode of Martin when he got into it with Cole before he went out. He looked. I came out there. I got up out of there. So, I mean, and I don't know what happened to that kid. I'm hoping that he had went on to have success. And I never heard anything that he had done. Like, he was coming home at that point from Wales. At that point, Wales was still open. Ethan Allen. So he was coming home from there. He probably shouldn't even been in a public school scenario, but so my point is, I've seen our kids do some shit to adults. I know I worked at St. Charles Youth and Family Services. We did residential treatment.
St. Charles.
Yeah, I seen some kids one time antagonize a worker to the point, and this dude was a big muscle-bound cat. Like, this brother had done some real time, but he had changed his life, right? So, like, he was into like bodybuilding and keeping himself healthy, and he ate vegetables, and he like made the kids like took the video game or some shit. Like, they're on this unit, and they waited till he was sitting there eating and came and just flipped his plate over and just knocked his shit all over the place. He went crazy. Like, I was on a whole other unit. We got calls like, you got to come now. Like, this dude got these boys in the room, tell them he done 15 years for murder already. It ain't nothing for him to kill another. I said, fuck you call me for? I'm not going over there. So I didn't go, but a couple of my coworkers went over there and came back like, man, I said, man, listen, man, I'm not getting skint up for this little part-time money. It was my part-time job at the time. So, but I was a pawn. I was not a player in that situation. So I wasn't going to get utilized. But I'm saying I've seen kids do some crazy shit. So I guess, as an adult, I don't mind for my son to hear that necessarily from a white man, because I can tell him that's how most white people feel, son. When you go into these classrooms, when you go into these places, most of the white people that you're dealing with, that's how they feel. You got to know that and act accordingly, right? Like, so Kamar said, if you knew better, you do better. So it may be an eye-opening experience for one of them kids to go home and hear, well, I guess y'all will sit y'all, because this is what my mama would have said. Yeah, I'm going to go up there and cuss that motherfucker out tomorrow, but I guess you'll sit your black ass down now, huh? They done told you how they feel about you. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, fuck him. But I hope you learn something from this motherfucker. Like, that would be the way my mother kind of gave it. I'm still going to fight for you, but, I'm going up here and put
that's
some
the way I see it. I agree with that, because I would tell my son, like, hey, look, he said some real shit now, but I'm finna go up there and let him know something, that this shit is real. But please, you can't take that away. That shit is real.
Mr. Barnes will leave you a voicemail and an email and probably a text if I can get your number. Shout out to Kevin LaFleur. He said, Outlaws. What's up, brother? What's up, my brother? Shout out to T.R. Arthur. Shabaka St. Core. He said California is famous for it. And Paris LaShawn was saying, good point. I think it's a discussion. Once again, this is how we get on code. When we start talking about what we do in situations like this, so you got young parents who may be not as seasoned as they need to be, because there's always an attempt to set us up, right? Like, because don't get me wrong, most racists wouldn't like nothing more than to fuck up your day, right? Like, so a lot of racist people know if I just, you fucking nigger, black people lose their shit, motherfuck this job and all this shit, then who end up paying for the shit? You do. You sitting around. Can't wait till tax time, nigga. So, yeah. So we got to be aware of them trying to set us up too. Like, you could fall for the okie doke when they lead that hook. Something similar to the whole drug thing. This is where I'm going. I'm driving this car. People say, where's he going? I'm headed in a direction. It's like the whole drug thing. It's like the traps that they set with, okay, we put these cars out here, and we've known for a very long time that there's an issue with the anti-theft capabilities of these cars. And I still don't see anything y'all came up with a vaccine for COVID quicker than y'all came up with a way to stop fucking kids from being stolen, right? I get carjacking, but you can even stop that if you got a low jack type of key situation where if it ain't in the car, it don't work. And it's all kinds of ways around this to put a GPS and da. Okay, we get all of that. But I'm saying, at what point is it right for our kids to hear the truth? Because I mean, I feel like we done spoon fed them enough. And they don't, our kids really don't put a value on blackness, right? Like, I feel like now, like when I'm watching a lot of shit that's like popular culture, it teaches you it ain't about you being black. It's about all of us as people. And I'm like, I don't ride with that shit because they'll tell you that and your ass will be the last one. I'm like, why the fuck I'm mad? It's not about all people. Ask some brothers in Ukraine right now trying to you get your black ass away from that train. All the white people got to get out first. That's the way they do you, but they'll sell you on the narrative that, hey, it's all about people. I don't see color. Yeah, you don't see color till that shit matter, right? When it's time for you to get a job and I can't get one. Or when we in court and you get off and I don't. That's when you say, shit, good thing I wasn't a nigger.
Right.
Don't tell me you don't see that shit. It's Outlaw Radio, man, on a hump day, man. I'm just having a good time. Players and pawns, like I said, I got the word mob in the building. I'm gonna have to get some t-shirts made with word mob on them. The information gang. Don't bite my shit. I know y'all be out there jotting. I see you out there jotting with your notepad. I don't want to see no t-shirt with no hashtag.
You know it's gonna be on the website. Alky's Wellness Look.
Then she won't answer the phone and shit. Oh, that's scary. Answer the phone. But yeah, man. So I was looking at this is something else we've been talking about. I'm on a path too. I'm taking this back up to the Sopranos again. I'm directing this choir. We're gonna get the vibrations going up again. Because I'm looking at Jesus, right? We had a conversation about Jesus on the show. And there's always this running thing of did he exist? Did he not? I've said a lot of times, do it really matter what his name was? I've said a lot of times, if it was a metaphor, I'm cool with it. If he was an actual person, I'm great with it. Either way it go, I get it. I get what it all supposed to represent. I don't know what it all means.
What it represent then, Kev?
Well, it represents a deity, the path to a deity. It represents someone who's we're looking for redemption. We're looking for a savior. So the whole concept of Jesus is about this dude who was placed here, who was the son of the creator of all.
You know what somebody just told me?
What's that?
Niggas only pray because they scared to die.
I've heard that. I've heard that before.
A lot
how
of
real is that, man?
Asked a lot of older people.
Like, how real is that, though? Like, the only reason you really do it is because you're scared to die or what might happen after you die.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's based on
either
what they
that or you hoping for some help from somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I agree.
And so I seen an article, and the devil stay busy, right? I seen an article today that kind of articulated this. It was saying we're going to look at some historical facts about why Jesus actually existed, why there was actually a Jesus. Now, don't get on here talking about what no J. We already talked about that.
Even if his name was Yeshua. His name could be Yeshua.
His name could have been Jimmy Lee. We don't know. It was so long ago, and there's so many rewritten texts and interpretations of this and that and the third and whatever. And so I was gonna share this article in the People's News Network because this is where I was coming. I wanted to talk about it tonight. The devil took it off my timeline. I couldn't find it no more. But
he was just a slave that knew voodoo. That's all Jesus was.
I've never even heard that before.
I'm just saying he was a black man doing magic. Y'all can call them miracles if you want to, but who's not to say it wasn't magic or voodoo?
Okay, please elaborate.
Walking on water. Like if somebody go walk on water right now in Lake Michigan, are we gonna say that's a miracle or oh man, that nigga no magic? Which one are we gonna say?
I'm gonna say it's a miracle.
Yeah, we see somebody bust out now. If somebody do take these 2 fish and some bread and make that shit feed the city, I'm like, damn. That nigga know. No, I'll probably say that's some good magic. That nigga knows some good magic.
That's a miracle. You don't even want to admit it.
Where he learned that, New Orleans?
You didn't even want to admit it. You almost said it. Now that'd be a miracle.
I don't know if I would have. I don't know.
There you go.
It could be a miracle, but at the same time, I think it's voodoo, a little bit of magic. That nigga did something.
Gotta change your mind. Jesus be a book.
But I'm saying we don't know, kids. Like I said, everyone thinks it's miracles and holiness and witchcraft and voodoo is of the devil. How do we not know that he was not just a man doing voodoo?
Well,
doing magic.
We don't know
that he could be a whole magician.
There's a
I think all of us capable of all of that.
Walking on water, that is, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Walking on water too. You know, you learn how to transfer energy and shit like that. You know what I mean? I believe you could do it.
Damn. Now that's some shit I would love to see.
Me
And
too.
I've taken
Hey,
whatever
I love to see it too. Cause that's a bad motherfucker. You figure that out, man.
you put that shit in Vitality, you got a winner, boy.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? But you know, it's like,
Right.
You know,
No, okay. So in my mind, you talking about somebody who's revolutionary, somebody who changes the way people think, somebody who changes behavior, somebody who just has that it factor that represents something, right? And so millions of years from now, will people be talking about Tupac, somebody like that, in the same light? Like, man, Tupac Shakur was this dude, and he must have been God's son. And like, you don't know, because Tupac is a person who put such a wrinkle in everything. People still talking about this dude 30 years later about his murder. His life is a whole other subject. They're talking about his murder. Not many dudes get thousands of views and feed their family on YouTube just by talking about, I was there the day before he got shot, and I seen the dude who they described in the picture that was on the last documentary. You'd be like, this shit's out of hand, right? Huey Newton, another person,
hey,
like says, Martin Luther King, people who have come along where you say it was some about that individual. Malcolm X,
they were enlightened.
Right? Look at Farrakhan right now.
That's what it is. They were enlightened beings. You know what I'm saying?
So that's what it represents to me. Somebody who came along who had that light, you know, and people still talk about him, they revere him, and maybe you said magic, I say maybe,
and that's why they still talk about the murders too, because he was an enlightened being. You know what I mean? And people wonder what's happening with that. What happened? Like, you know,
who knows, man? And that's what I'm saying. So when we talk about, that's why I say I get it, but I think the main thing you got to understand is everybody needs something, right? You got to have something. You better find something to believe in. Yeah. We got enough.
Believe in something.
Why can't you believe in yourself?
Why not believe in me?
Something besides yourself. Why do we need something outside of ourselves to believe in?
Well, because there has to be something bigger than you. You can't, because you can't. It's too many things that you can't explain. You need somebody needs to explain something to you.
But people still can't. Like, can't nobody explain the fucking universe? Like, I can believe in myself and believe the universe. People can't even explain Jesus. Still.
It's the same as saying, why do you need a mama? Because it's somebody who you need to be able to look to teach you the most basic things, like how to walk, how to talk, how to eat, how to wipe your ass.
But
like
some don't.
Right. You was born on this earth for slobbering.
Sound like you're talking about my mother.
That's what I just said. That's what I'm saying.
To me.
So it's something bigger than you.
God to me.
It's natural for a person to look around and say, how did I get here?
My mom.
Why am I here? What am I doing? Right, but okay, well, how your mom get here?
Her mama.
Her mama. But chicken or the egg. Here we go. Now, see that conversation starts. So that's what I'm saying. Religion can get in spirituality in such a deep hole. You're right, Shabaka. Muhammad Ali, look at his impact forever. You'll never forget that dude. He'll never be forgotten. You know, unless they just blow every goddamn thing up and just start over and shit. Like, no book or nothing, just gone. But I'm saying, when it comes to that kind of stuff, I feel like we just need to stop being so treacherous and so judgmental of each other. And even within that, I seen that the sister from Mary, Erica, I can't remember her. And why can't I remember her name? Because I listen to her music and I'm a Mary Fan. But the sister is curvy or whatever, you know, and she years back she did an album. She wasn't like naked. It just was a dress that showed her curves. And she was talking about that people in the church called her a harlot and a whore and a slut and all this kind of. These are people in her own religion who was, and I'm like, well, this sister's married and got her husband is a producer. She got the kids. She just wore a dress that was form-fitting. So I'm saying we go hard on each other, even when we believe in the same shit. And that's kind of what prevents it from being a code. It's like, dog, I was down with everything y'all said, and you won't slap me up because you called me with a rib or something like that. And we said no pork, motherfucker. Like, hold on, bro. Like, I support everything y'all did. Now you gonna whoop my ass because I had a rib. We go too hard on each other. That's kind of the reason why we don't have a code. As soon as we have a difference of opinion, I'm finna whoop dude ass. Like damn, dog, calm down, man. I whoop your ass. Like
shit gets real fast.
Right. Right. That's the way they've conditioned us to be. That's why that whole we argue more now, especially on Facebook, about whether or not Christianity was a slave religion. Well, the slave master gave you that, and that's why you were slaves. I don't believe we were slaves just because they gave us Christianity. I don't. Now,
No,
some people might say
happened. That was just part of it.
it was a perfect storm for racism. It was a perfect storm for discrimination, and all of it just happened to come together at once. So I don't believe it's because if we hadn't never took Christianity, we wouldn't have been slaves. I think they would have killed more of us if we didn't have any kind of morals. And it says a lot about Black people that we have been the people who have, in spite of what they said, we the ones who truly loved our enemies. To this day, still, we love our enemies. And
we love them all.
Yeah, that's who we are. That's what we are. We are love. That's the energy. That's that God energy that's in us is love. That's why we are more like that, more forgiving, more welcoming. You know what I mean? The motherfuckers smack us in our face. We go back smiling again and shit, because that's just who we are. What the problem is, we got to learn how to be who we are with each other.
Okay. And how do we get to that destination? I guess
that's the problem right there. You know what I mean? But actually, it's not a problem. I think the answer to that would be to work on ourselves. The more love you find for yourself, the more you're gonna love your brother.
I always say poverty is the enemy of prosperity. and I know that people say, well, that's easy. That's the two opposite ends of the spectrum. I say, no, I mean, when I say that, I mean poverty creates a situation where emotionally and mentally you are in a certain mode, right? Like, unless you're a really humble cat who's decided, and it depends on where you at in your walk, because you may have gotten to the point where you say, I'm above material things. I'm gonna live as simple as I can, and I'm gonna reduce my carbon footprint and all that kind of stuff. But poor people and prosperous people are enemies. That's why a prosperous person can't really come around, even if he's trying to help and stays there too long, like we talked about. I'm gonna move back to the hood and help people. They're gonna break in your shit. Sorry to disappoint you. They're gonna rob you. You ain't got, think of, like we talk about the rappers who can't stop going back to the hood. I'm gonna keep it real. That's where they lay his ass down at. And so there's a mentality there. There's poverty. It's like the old joke of running through Ethiopia with a cheeseburger. I don't know if I can still use that joke in 2022. I don't know if I can still use it. But we used to say that. We used to say that joke all the time. So what we got to do, man, we really have to get to the point where, if we're talking about getting on code, and we're talking about making sure that we can move differently. I think we have to move differently. I think that's the biggest part of this. And when I say move differently, I mean, like, even with this election right now, there was a million different kind of like mayoral forums for the candidates. And that was supposed to be a situation where you could vet the candidates. But there was really no unified or effort amongst those efforts to have those forums. So that means, once again, the city of silos peaks its ugly head, meaning we got ours over here, we got ours over there, we got ours over here. Now, was what they said at each forum and then the debate, did anybody kind of centralize that and say, let's look at the inconsistencies in what he said here or what he said there, or what he was asked? No, there was no think tank that even processed this information to pass it along to the people. So now what you have is a bunch of uninformed people who may sit this election out, and then you got a split vote in which a lot of Black people are being kind of told that color don't matter, race don't matter in this race. I'm gonna vote for Bob Donovan because I got something personal against Chevy, because I feel like he's a coon. Like, Black people, we loose with that shit. Coon ass nigga, sellout ass nigga. I mean, what makes him a coon? What makes him a sellout? Is, even if his political views are aligned with Barrett, does that make him a coon, or does that?
I think what makes him a coon, what would make him a coon, is having that platform that he has and not doing nothing for the community.
Okay.
Because he's supposed to be working for the community and he ain't doing that. I think that would fall under the lines of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't doing nothing to help.
Okay. Courtney, what was you about to say?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
My bad, Courtney.
I done forgot. All
I
time.
thought, see, that's exactly why you leave voicemail. See, that's why you leave a voicemail. Be the person call you back. I'm like, hey man, you called. I'm saying I forgot now. See, that's why you leave a voice. You got to set voicemail, Kev.
Shout out to Tiarsha Arthur. She said, have you ever heard that there was actually 72 books inside the Bible, but we're only told about 66? Someone just told me about the book of Jasher that was originally inside the Bible. I've heard a story about some books that were removed, and even the conference and the event in which it was decided that they would be removed from the Bible. I've heard about some alternative theories about some different entities that's contained in these chapters that were removed from the Bible. I've heard that. The problem was I've heard that from people, right? Like I didn't stumble upon that information organically. I heard it from people, and I heard it from people who, more often than not, I keep saying we're going to do a conspiracy theory show. More often than not, I've heard that information from somebody who was really a person who believed in conspiracy theories. So yes, I've heard that there were books removed from the Bible, and that there's, and they talk about these different books and what they said. I've heard that the alternative. I've also heard about the slave Bible, in which it was heavily edited by slave masters, and it took a bunch of different stuff out that might lead slaves to think that there's a spiritual inclination to have an uprising or something like that. I've seen that. I've seen all of that. That's what I'm saying. Really trying to do a deep dive on, because I want to be able to have more ammo in my gun when I go out here and people ask me. There we go, Nicaea, the Council of Nicaea. That's it right there. Paris LaShawn. I've heard all about that. Dead Sea Scrolls. Yes, I've heard all those theories, and that's where we go right now with Black people. Like we're all over the place. There's people who are utilizing that to say, because we weren't told, maybe those books existed. And people say maybe because we wasn't told about those books, God ain't real. I don't think that that's what that means. If somebody edited it and took it out, I'd have to look. I haven't read them. I haven't read the scrolls or whatever, but I like to know what they said. What you say they said. Was it something that was removed that could have benefited us? Maybe we need to put those back into the Bible as it's used. So those are
My thought came back here.
okay.
I got it. So I was wondering, did they record these forums at all? And then the fact was, it feel like they didn't really publicize. There'd be a lot of shit that people don't be knowing about at all.
Okay.
Like, and I feel like a lot of shit that goes on with the city, I only find out really through you, or if I'm listening to 860 and they talking about that shit in the morning. There'd be plenty of shit they be saying. I'm like, damn, I know about that. Or when you say stuff, and I be like, damn. So, yeah.
Information gang, word mob. I keep telling you, word mob.
Let me write this down right now. Word, I'm putting it in the chat. Word mob. Information gang.
Stop it. John Fletcher said the information is out there so everyone can make up their own mind, but they have to do the research. Man, that is the whole thing that we always say on Outlaw Radio, is that we never try to tell you what to think. We just tell you to think. Like I'm because I would never waste my time trying to change somebody's mind about something. Like, I just want to say, man, if that's what you believe, look into it, right? Make sure you know what you, because if somebody asks you about it, whether they want to debate you or they're interested and they want to support you, you need to know something about it. You can't just throw some shit out there and they ask you about it and you be like, man, fuck away from me. Well, hold on. I ain't got time for that shit.
Boy do that all the time. What you mean? Or just he gonna call you fat? He gonna say some stupid shit. Well, that's why your ass fat. Like, what?
Well, it's always the dude on Facebook who be like, I don't usually even post on social media, but you do, because that's what you start every goddamn post off by saying, bro. We see you. We see you, man. So what else we got, man? Oh, I wanted to give a special shout out, man. And I think, and is this still Women's History Month? Is this
that's right? Still March.
Still Women's History Month. And Tamara and myself have been trying to give it up and acknowledge, Black women in particular, and the dynamic nature of Black women for a long time. Have you noticed, there have been so many different sisters on this show that's been part of our family, because we believe that there always has to be a female perspective. And even when Kamara and myself say we ain't getting no more women, that's it. That's the last one. Sooner or later, a woman comes on and she fits right in. So it's like, okay, we got to hear what the sisters have to say. I said all that to say, shout out to Jada Davis, who is a law student at Marquette, and she was named the first Miss Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Miss Milwaukee. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that got more power than Miss Racine. I don't know. Will they be at the OMG Awards
Look, I didn't even know we had a Miss Milwaukee, just like I didn't know we had OMG awards. You know what I'm saying? I'm finding out all new shit. That's that high level conversation. Like what?
Yeah,
Learn something new. There we
And
go.
shout out to Melvin James. We had Melvin James on the show. And we had a good interview with him, who does the 4-and-4 Spotlight in Milwaukee. He was on here. That show is archived. All the shows are archived. It's Outlaw Radio, man. It's pawns and players and pawns. We're coming down the gutter, man, to finish it up. There's a more video that I put up in the People's News Network, because I talked about a picture that had been floating around social media with a 12-year-old black girl, and it was a white Kenosha police officer who is a resource officer in the school district. He had his knee on the back of her neck, and there was press conferences, and I seen a bunch of our local leaders here were out there speaking in support of the dad. So the video is actually in the People's News Network now. The Kenosha police finally released the video, and it basically shows this young lady in a fight with another child. And here comes officer. His name is Shane Gutenschon. Man, not good with these names. Sean Gutenschon, right? Like so he basically, that's his move. That was his go-to move to break 12-year-olds up from fighting, is to put his knee on the back of her head. And he kept her down for almost it was some seconds, 30 seconds, maybe almost a minute. She was, of course, screaming. And so he stepped down. He retired. He's no longer a resource officer for the school district. But I feel like he shouldn't be a police officer.
Well, Kev, they're gonna move him to another district or some shit.
Okay.
You know how they do
it. Okay. They do. They recycle their races in Wisconsin. Yeah. But here's the twist. Now it leads to this. When our black kids see this, when they in school fighting and there's all these white people around them, would you rather have your child gotten that speech from that white principal in Jacksonville, or gotten that knee? And is that the same thing? Is it the same intention? Either my knee on your back of your neck, or me telling you I don't give a shit about you? Which one would you? Because I think maybe if our kids understood the mentality of those people, maybe they would, monitor their own behavior some. I don't know.
That little child shouldn't have to learn that lesson yet.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's 12. So
you know what I'm saying? She shouldn't have to learn that yet.
Okay.
She shouldn't have to. I'm saying. I ain't saying, you know what I mean, we don't have to teach them. I'm just saying, by her being that young, you know what I mean, she should still be able to be innocent. She should still be able to be a child without having to worry about that type of shit. But some of these motherfuckers is evil.
Yeah, that's the whole moral of the story. So when you hear it, when you see the wolf be a wolf, right? Like the wolf ain't dressed up like a nice old lady. The wolf is a wolf. You see it. It's better for that child to be able to say wolf right away instead of, oh, nice puppy, and go get his damn head bit off. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, when I was talking about the kids maybe benefiting from hearing the real truth, maybe parents should admit to their kids sometimes, say, right now, daddy is a pawn. I'm not where I want to be. Or mommy is a pawn. I'm not where I want to be. And this is how I get utilized. But I'm trying to elevate to being a player. In order to do that, this is how I have to behave. And I want you to do the same thing. And I tell you this, you want my kid to decide, you leave it up to them to decide their sexuality at 6, 7 years old. If kids say, I'm a girl. Oh, okay, he's a girl. He's 6 years old. Well, he's chose. So then I feel like, well, if we're going to go there, we might as well tell them about racism when they're young and say, listen, son, as a young black male or as a young black lady, there's some rules that you have to know about, and you got to move and you got to behave accordingly. I just when I see those two images, either I hear the voice, because when I'm watching him with his knee on her neck, I'm hearing that. I didn't combine these two videos. I didn't combine this. So when I'm seeing that image of that young black girl with that police officer's knee on the back of her head in Kenosha, I'm hearing that principal in Jacksonville, Florida, saying, you can go and fucking live off the system. And if you don't believe me, I'll take you down there and show you the numbers. Right? I feel like that goes together, man. I feel like it runs together.
But by that time, man, them kids probably know that. But
yeah,
and that's another reason why I say, man, that's something that black men need to be doing. We got to get that tough love to our kids.
Okay.
Not the motherfucker who we teaching them about.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying, like, okay, so when
But at the same time, you know me, man. I'm able to see both sides all the time. You know what I mean? So I can understand the other point of view. You know what I
right,
mean? Like, yeah, it's okay. The white man should do it. I get it,
okay,
but it's
I got
just personally how I feel at this point in my life.
yeah, no, I
I would
wasn't saying
I
they
would
should.
want to know what warranted that.
I wasn't saying that they should. I wasn't saying kids should have to learn that. Well, I guess I was trying to make a point of when I looked at that video, I heard a lot of truth coming out of that white man's mouth. And for
Mhm.
me, it's better for me to like just to say who you are, right? Like you ain't gotta hide. We talk about racism and the way it was kind of like executed on our backs. A lot of black people who were part of the Great Migration would say, well, in the South, it was open. It was they tell you to your face, move, nigger, or they let you know we don't want you in here, nigger. But when you came up north, it was more of an institutional thing. It should have been understood. There was unwritten laws. You ain't supposed to be over here. You know not to apply here. You know not to
Mhm.
come in here. I don't got to say that to you. And northern people were often more slick and sophisticated with their racism, with redlining and all this kind of stuff. So I just think it's a conversation. It's a learning moment, and sometimes instead of coming apart at the seams and letting our emotions run wild with us, we got to stop and say this might be a learning moment. Because for me, once again, that's the conversation I'm having with my child. Like, look, okay, yeah, I'm pissed and I'm going to go stand for you because I advocate for you when nobody else will. But let me explain this whole situation to you. And let me explain to you for why what this individual said is true from his perspective, right?
Right.
So Paris, he said, right, it was overt, not covert. That's right. That's right. Shout out to Antonia Anderson, man. Shout out to Antonia Anderson. It's Women's History Month. If you ain't been watching the show for a while, you don't remember Antonia came on here about two years ago with the Hip Hop 365 Museum in her apartment, where she had all these hip hop exhibits and all these kinds of just things set up in dedication, in tribute to Black culture. And she's been on the news up here. She's been in the newspaper. She's getting national recognition because she turned her house into her own hip hop museum.
That's what's up.
Man, that's what's up, man. And every time I say, and I used to work with Antonia Fry, so I've known her for a very long time. We worked at St. Charles together. And every time I say, "And you blowing up, congratulations," say, "No, my first interview ever was Outlaw Radio. Y'all was the first one to give me any kind of notice or any shine."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
I
first.
thought she was popping the way he was going, the way he was looking. I thought she was popping way before that.
No, that was the first. And it's funny because she was like hesitant, like because she didn't know how to really work. I don't know how to do all that. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
and she was on the phone with the brother Tillman from Hip Hop Generation Generation Hip Hop Wisconsin. She was on there.
I'm happy we could be a part of that journey.
Oh man, no doubt, man. That's why I say we big up, man. If it's positive and it's Black, you're gonna hear us talking about it, man. We ain't no hate, this is a non-hater zone, right? Like ain't nobody over here on no bullshit. That's why I've been tripping off the trolls. Like what the dude said about the sports show the other night. He said, "What is this, a clown show?" It cracked me up. I was like, "Damn, okay."
No, that was Monday.
Was that Monday?
Yeah, that was Monday. I was on.
Okay, I just thought it was
Remember,
funny.
we talked about him. We all talked about him. All four of us.
I just know we laughed. We just laughed like it was so funny. Like I wouldn't. Anybody who's listening to our show, if you're listening and you're saying these dudes is garbage, I don't like the show, this some bullshit, just don't listen to it. Like, I don't mind. I don't, I wouldn't want to force nothing on you anyway. So,
right.
Believe me, I'm used to not everybody liking me or what I have to say or what I do or how I move. That's been the norm. And that's what is the norm for any Black man who moves against the grain and says, I'd like to think for myself. I'd like to love my own people. I like to build up my community. I would like to take care of my children. I'm not really worried about your community. I'm not really worried about what's going on in your building. Because guess what? If you don't want me in your restaurant, I don't want to eat there. And that's like, I don't know if that's a revelation for me, just being like a post Jim Crow Negro. I think is that what we call now, post Jim Crow Negroes?
I don't know if that's what we call it. I mean, that's a good
I feel like that's who we are, right? Like we're post Jim Crow Negroes, right? Like, so my mentality is I don't really have an overwhelming desire to be with you if you don't want me there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't, and I would hope anybody feels the same way. If you don't want to hear something, don't listen to it. Because I see a lot of people who torture themselves, like they be on going, I hate this show, and I hate that they do this on this show, and they said that, and I'm like, how you know all that shit if you don't like it? Obviously, you're watching it. Obviously, you paying attention to it. It's what they call living rent free in your head, right? Type shit. Man, players are pawns, man. Outlaw Radio, man. I've had a great time with y'all, man. You know, and Paris, he said, you know, you're doing something right. It's all good. It's all good. I don't, you know, I'm at that point where it don't really matter to me about like I don't put on airs for people. So like we always say, we do this for a cause and not applause, man. So I don't TR Arthur said we love you, flip phone and all. That's crazy that and you know what? I'm gonna do this when I move this stuff back to my studio. I'm gonna take a picture of my setup so you can see my shit's all top notch now, Tiarsha. Thank God and thank y'all. Not monetarily, but for the support, right? So you know, so man, no, just happy to be here. Kamar, players or pawns? I want to close it out. Players or pawn? Where you think you at? If you took stock of everything, where do you think you're at right now? Player
I'm in the game, man. I'm a player. I'm in the game. I'm out here moving and grooving, man. Barbecue mildew. I got the grill lit. You know what I'm talking about?
Do they say barbecue or mildew anywhere else except for Milwaukee? I would really love to know that shit, right? Like, do they say that barbecue or mildew? No, thanks, Paris. Great, man. Thanks for listening. It's a great show. You know, if I was to ask myself, I would say I have some player abilities. I have some players' talents. I have player potential. I'm not there yet because I'm not calling my own shots. I'm not there yet because I haven't created a situation where I can create well-being amongst my people. Like I'm not in a situation where I've created something that like I can give out jobs and I can hand out food, or I've created an entity that's uplifting us, and more than just a few of us, a lot of us. I'm not, so I feel like I'm moving in that direction. But I don't feel like I'm there yet. I feel like it's a process. I've been there before. I've been in situations where I had some situations and some things where I could have made things happen. So man, I'm a player, I'm out here, I'm a factor, but it usually went away, right? And so I had to start over. So I say I'm on my way back. I don't think that I'm necessarily a player, but I know I'm damn sure not a pawn. Even with the fact we say I'm a working stiff because I work for somebody. Well, I'm not a pawn because they can't use and exploit me to do whatever it is that they want to do. I still have free will. I'm still of the mind that I know deep down inside, if something happens and I'm compromised, I can break out of that situation quick and say, I quit, motherfucker. What is you talking about? I don't got to do that shit. So I'm not a pawn, and I know that. But like I said, in order to set your goals, you have to have a starting point. So yeah, man, it's been one for Outlaw Radio. What you got going this weekend, man? It's springtime. I know these gardens, all this shit about to pop. Your bankroll about to
man. I'm finna as soon as the weather dry up, man. I'm finna get started in my garden. Like I say, man, I just went yesterday, man. I just went to Home Depot. No, I went to Menards. Got me. Went to Menards, found a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Came home with a hoe, man, and some other tools. But no, I got some bunch of different organic seeds and shit like that, man. You know what I mean? Some stuff to start it up for when the weather break. I can get out there in the dirt, put it down in the dirt. But I am gonna go bust this dirt up and get everything out, clear it out in the next few days. But as far as me, I know Friday I got, I'll be at the fish fry Friday. With Anomaly Catering, the fish fry on 53rd and Capitol at the table. What else I got? Monday, Meatless Mondays.
Now, do you have Vitality with you at the fish fry? Or you just there? Okay, you have your products there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you come there and get the products, man. We got teas that on sale with the dinners. It's all type of stuff, man.
Right. Okay. That's what's up, man. Support the brother, man. Meatless Mondays on Monday at the Taste, right? 35th and Capitol. If you say, well, right by the post office. Every black person know where that's at, right? Like we
Straight
know
up, right by the post office.
right. So support this brother, man. Support the People's Network, man. Information gang, word mob in full effect, man. You say, well, how do we get to where we're going? Well, conversation rules the nation, man. It's the universal lubricant. Words change things, man. Words have started and ended wars. You have to understand that. And usually words shape mentalities. So we have to understand, man, we are who we speak of. We can talk an existence into existence for ourselves. We can be who we want to be, but we got to start standing on who we decide we're going to be. We do have to establish a code of solidarity. That's what that code is. I was saying get on code, but that means we need to have some real solidarity, meaning we move together. You know, it's one of those things where when I was growing up, the rule was if I'm with my cousin or one of my real partners and something go down and there's an altercation, you gets down and you ask questions later. So I'm not going to ask him, hey man, what is we fighting for? All I know is they at your ass, brother, and I got your back. So when we get done, I'm saying, man, what was that shit about? So, you know, and then I decide whether or not you had me out here on some bullshit. But that's what brotherhood is about. That's what solidarity is about, man. We are coming to the end of Women's History Month. I think we got about a week left. And I thought something that I looked at today that I thought was impressive was the brother Cory Booker at the confirmation of this sister who's running for one of the federal judge seats. Her name is Ketanji Brown Jackson, and of course she's been going through the motions with the questioning and how they do us whenever we're going for a position. But you know, it's the normal process that they have to go through. But I thought it was dope that he got up there today and gave her flowers and told her how important it was and how joyous he was to see a black woman in a position to be elevated in her profession. And he told her how much she deserved to be where she was at and how much he was inspired by hearing and watching her move the way she does. And that's the thing about black women, right? We as black men, I really feel like we got to really understand the power of the greatest natural resource in the world, and that's black women. Now, don't get me wrong, it could be a challenge, just like that meme says, like being black is dangerous, but it's lit as fuck. So like being with a black woman ain't the easiest thing in the world, just like being with a black man ain't the easiest thing in the world. But when both of us work together to get an understanding, it becomes very, very powerful, right? Like, so, you know, like I said, the little young sister here, Jada Ward, the more and more barriers are being knocked down. That's why I always say the glass is half full, not half empty, man. Listen, we forget when we talk about community, there's something in the community that we really need to pay attention to. And that terminology is common unity, right? We have no sense of community right now because a lot of us don't feel a sense of ownership in anything. And a lot of it's true because, like my mama used to say, niggas know the price of everything, but they don't know the value of shit. And so we got to start striving to look for what's valuable versus what's not. And it's not all material, y'all. We got to start being more of an asset and less of a liability. If your contribution to the community is outweighed by your criticism of the community, then you need to get some reform and some rehab because your ass, my brother, is a coon. Peace and love, word mob, information gang. I see y'all tomorrow night for Outlaw, man. We're going to get loose tomorrow night and talk a bunch of shit and have a good time, man. Peace and love. Capital Drive.